Oh, son, what's good, my boy? Today we're going to be talking about body dysmorphia and this mental battle that so many young men go through on this fitness journey nowadays. They're pulled in this direction, they're pulled in this direction, and there's so many aspects to the body dysmorphia that it's crazy. They want to be like this bodybuilder, then they want to be like this power lifter, they want to be like this big, burly, strong, fucking filled out dude, then they want to be like this shredded, sick David Lade fucking Ziz. And it's very, very hard to pick one, as well as there's so many other variables that go into this, like your genetics, people wanting to do like 800-pound deadlifts but also have a six-pack and shit like that. Bro, not everybody can do that. You need to understand that right now. I'm all for like big ass dreams and ambitions, but with realistic things. Like realistically, I believe that if you want to make like fucking $20-30 million a year, I believe that's achievable if you take the right steps. But if you sit there and tell me as a 5'7" guy that I want to be just like Michael Jordan, and you're like 25 years old, you're like, I want to be just like Michael Jordan, I want to be the best basketball player ever, I play pickup games all the time and I'm so fucking good. Yeah, well, you're 25 and you're nowhere near as good as he is. And you're also 5'7". You're a 5'7". Michael Jordan was 6'6" and was in the NBA at 21 years old. I mean, unless you want to go undergo some knee surgery and try it out, that's not a realistic goal. A realistic goal with big ambitions would be, I want to make fucking $10 million. I want to make $10 million. Okay, that's achievable. You can do that. It's a big-ass dream, but realistically, if you take the right steps and do the right things and with a little bit of luck, you can achieve that. But you're not going to be fucking Michael Jordan if you're 5'7". So you got to understand that analogy whenever it comes to body dysmorphia and working out. At some point, you'll understand, you'll either accept it or you'll fight it the whole fucking time, that you're not going to be like this person. Like me, I have a wide hip structure. My bone structure, my hips are wide. I got broad shoulders, but my hips are also wide. So I won't ever be like David Lade. I can look pretty good because I still got the broad shoulders, but since my hips are wider, I ain't ever gonna have that waist as thin as he does, unless I got surgery. So at some point, you gotta be realistic and accept certain things. Now, another thing, I'm not very big. Like my baseline weight at 5'10" is between 160 and 180. As long as I've been working out and doing things right, that's about as much as I've been able to pack on with muscle. So it's not very realistic of me to be like, all right, I want to bench 550 pounds like the big guys do, unless I bulked up. And then that's another aspect of this body dysmorphia that starts cutting into you. And this is one of the main ones that I want to get on, is the push and pull of wanting to get big, but also be shredded. As a natural, at some point, this is why a lot of people hop on gear. You got to understand that it's very, very hard to have a 400-pound bench press, almost near impossible, to have a 400-pound bench press and also have abs, completely natural. Unless you are some genetic freak, it is almost near impossible to have that. So you have to pick and choose your battles. If you want to do that, and you want to see if you can achieve a 400-pound bench press naturally, you're going to have to bulk up. You're going to have tits. You're going to have big-ass ham hocks on your sides. You're going to have to accept that. But if you want to be aesthetic and you've been a fat kid your whole life, like me, my struggle is I kept going back and forth. I wanted to be aesthetic because I was a fat kid my whole fucking childhood. Just very, very fat. I look like a lesbian. Well, I finally had to make a decision. I kept going back and forth. I was getting nowhere. I would cut down and I would get really weak and all my strength would go, and I would almost get there. I'd get down to like 150 where I'm starting to get almost shredded. And then I just like, bro, I'm so fucking weak, I can barely bench 135. Fuck this shit, dude. And then I'd bulk back up and I got fat as fuck. Got strong, but got fat as fuck. And then I'm like, man, I hate being fat. It's like I haven't got nowhere from whenever I was a kid. Dude, this is fucking with me. So then I'd cut back down. You have to make choices. And you have to stick with those choices despite the body dysmorphia pulling you in one direction. That's the only way you can beat it. And that, just stick with your choices as well as don't play this fucking online comparison game, because this shit will end you. If you're comparing yourself to all the people on steroids, like a Sam Solik with great genetics and is on steroids, you're going to fucking hate yourself. You're going to look in the mirror and hate yourself. You can't compare them to you. You must be unique. You must find the confidence. This comes with a little bit of a different thing, but you must find the confidence in being yourself and things that you achieve and things that you do, and building a resume list of shit that you actually do, that you have the it's not like you're hyping yourself up in the mirror. It's like you have an actual list of shit you do. That's why I preach working hard. It will make you have that confidence despite having the genetics. I promise you. But this was one of the biggest struggles for me, is I kept constantly always going back and forth. Man, I want to be like fucking David Lade. I want to be shredded like that. Well, I'm not 6'4" or whatever, how tall he is. I don't have a waist that's that thin. Shit just ain't going fucking. Sometimes that shit happens. I mean, imagine if you lean down in your chest, you just had like a fucking 3-inch gap between your pecs. You can't change that. That's just your fucking genetics. That is your genetics. You have to accept certain things. So you must be realistic and not autistic at some points. Now, I've talked about this, and what you're really looking for is contentment. You're looking to find a way to be content with your body. I've seen this happen numerous times, where people, they'll find a different interest. Because whenever your only interest is bodybuilding, powerlifting, all this shit, which, do what you want, but if it's your only interest, it's going to be so hard if you do not have the genetics. It'd be like a kid that's like, I want to be like Michael Jordan, but he's 5'7". It's like, that will not work out, dog. It's not going to work out. You're just going to fucking beat yourself up because of what you were born with. So, what I've seen a lot of people do is they build a decent physique. They get some fucking muscles on them and shit. They build a decent physique. And then they go into other avenues of life, like business or different things that you can set high goals for and ambitions and go after and achieve and show people. And that's where I've seen a lot of people find a balance with it, is you find contentment with your physique. You stay disciplined where you keep working out and going towards it, but you don't let it eat on you every day. You have another bigger fish to catch that is actually catchable, and you can see him swimming around, but you just have to keep casting over and over and over. That goes with anything. And another thing people struggle with is the patience in the beginning. They fuck off and they're just like, man, this is taking so long. I've been doing this for 2 years. Bro, some people work out. Most people drop off of working out after like 4 or 5 years. But that's like a fucking 1% who actually sticks with that shit 10 plus years of it, going to the gym every day. So if you want to be one of those dudes, if you want to be one of those people, you're going to have to have maybe 4 or 5, 6 years of growth. And then every single year after that is going to be just like you barely see any progress after a year of working out. That's just how this shit is. And the only way out of that is steroids, which is just kind of, in my opinion, unless you have the genetics to utilize them, it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. It takes away so much of your freedom, where you're going to have to be on TRT for the rest of your life if you fuck up your hormone levels from doing it. You could have super bad side effects and have acne scars for the rest of it. It's just too many variables. Underlying diseases or autoimmune disorders just come out of the woodworks if you do it. You don't know. So it's not worth it. And to me, the people who are so desperate and so fucked up with the body dysmorphia are kind of gay. That shit seems kind of queer to me whenever I truly think about it. It's like you're so obsessed with the way you look that you're basically a queer. You're basically gay. That it bothers you so much and you're so little of a man that you have to hop on drugs that could fucking kill you or fuck you up because you can't find contentment in the way you look. That's just a pussy in my opinion. Half of the people that hop on gear, they still don't find contentment. It's a never-ending cycle of body dysmorphia. The biggest bodybuilders, you hear them say that they're small. Fuck, Chris Bumstead has body dysmorphia. You hear him talk about it all the time. So, the only true way I've really have found, once you're like super deep in that bodybuilding, powerlifter, online influencer thing, where you're just like, I want to do this, I gotta have this, I gotta have that, but you don't have the genetics for it, is to keep going with it, stay disciplined, but find a bigger fish in another field of life. Maybe it's art, music, business, anything. I have a couple. I do art, general contractor, build houses for people, as well as business and shit like that. It's just, you got to find other things. And that can't be your main thing if you don't have the genetics for it. That's just real shit. That's just real shit. Or you will fucking hate yourself. So, again, every single video I've been mentioning this. I got a free accountability coach, life coach, fitness, losing weight. I lost over 150 pounds a couple years ago. Built a decent physique. Continuing to build a decent physique. I got my own general contracting thing going, so I know a little bit of the business side. And I'm taking on 5 total people to help out and coach them, accountability, all that type of thing. And if you're very overweight, I guarantee you I can help you lose weight. And it's all free. I'm doing it for free. That's why I'm only taking on 5 people. I've already got 1, and I got to call him today. But I got 4 more spaces to take on people and help them out. I'll call you at the end of the week. We'll talk about shit. I'll give you some advice, that sort of thing. Keep you accountable, text you throughout, whatever. Email me at KAMERONJ that's ARTHUR @gmail.com. I'll put it down in the description as well. Inquiry. I'm gonna screen you a little bit because I want some motherfuckers that are actually driven, that I can like lead to success and shit like that. But anyway, chase paper, enjoy nature, old son. Don't get caught up in all this fucking shit that you have no control of. Have a good one.